The weather has been so incredibly perfect around here in Indiana, and so we had to take advantage of it and go to a new apple orchard and pumpkin orchard. And we did not even know they had a sunflower maze, but we were happily surprised. And so we definitely took the advantage and got some cute little family pictures, and somebody was so nice to take one for us. So we actually got a really nice family picture. It was just a nice little touch. But we just enjoyed the start of a new season, and it was just so nice. Like, I just love how new seasons just bring new opportunities. When my husband Shane and I first got married, it was like our first Christmas, and I was asking him, okay, what is your Christmas food? Like, what did your grandma used to make every Christmas that just brings back all the nostalgia? And he said biscuits and gravy. And I was like, what? Because that definitely was not what I was expecting. But I quickly learned that I needed to learn how to make homemade biscuits and sausage gravy. And so that's what I've done for like 10 years, 11 years now since we've been married. It will actually be 12 years in December, but I've definitely made biscuits and gravy a lot over our marriage, and my family thankfully all really enjoys it. So here I am just making some biscuits, and they're just super simple with flour and butter, salt, milk, and they're just so easy. You seriously cannot mess them up. You just mix all the ingredients together, which I just created a blog for the biscuit recipe and actually how to make the sausage gravy. With biscuits, I found the more hydrated the dough is, the better the biscuits will come out. They'll just be like a really nice outside on the biscuit, but then on the inside it will still be really nice and light and fluffy. And so these are definitely more of a sticky dough, and that's because you want all that good hydration from the milk. And I know I always feel like I keep bringing up having a dairy cow, but if you do have a dairy cow and make your own milk, this would be a great way to use up some of that buttermilk, because that would just be so good. But this recipe is so simple. It literally takes maybe 2 minutes to just whip it all together. And you literally just, at least what I do is I just plop out some 12 biscuits. I don't really separate the dough or anything. You just seriously can't mess these up. So if you need a good go-to recipe, this is definitely one that you could make quickly, and you could just simply use it for butter and jelly or whatever you had on hand already. These are one of my husband's favorite things that I make, and so that makes me want to make them even more. And I've learned that if I'm gonna go ahead and make biscuits, usually I try to double it. I don't think I doubled it here, but usually I try to double it because you can always, have them for breakfast the next day if you have too many. And even usually when I double it, we usually go through them pretty quickly. I just recently found a really good jelly that I really like, and they go really well with these. A lot of people like to roll out their biscuits or lay them out and then cut them with a biscuit cutter, or even the top of a ball jar. But I found that if I just evenly space them out, make them all about 1.5 inches, they just cook so perfectly. So here I am. You guys, whenever I cook meat, whether it's sausage or chicken, whatever it is, I try to double it, because you can never go wrong with having ready to go meat in your fridge. And so here I doubled the sausage for my gravy, and I'm going to use the sausage for another recipe later in the week. And so it just works out so nicely to just take the time, cook the double meat so that you're prepared the next day. A lot of the times, even if I can take out half a cup of the meat, I can make a quiche with that. That could be our breakfast for the next day. So biscuits and gravy are definitely a staple here in our house, and it's something, early on in marriage, I realized, wow, I really need to learn how to make this. Now, I grew up like hardly ever cooking. Like my mom and my sister and I would bake, and that was kind of our thing, but cooking, we didn't really do that much, and it's because I was just always in sports, but it's just exciting now that I'm just really choosing to step into my role, of being a wife and a mom and cooking for my family. Obviously, we've been married for almost 12 years and I've cooked and baked a lot, but I think my heart has really changed even in the last year and a half, that it is my role and it is exciting and I'm choosing to walk in that, and I'm just having fun with it. I just realized with my personality, if I'm not having fun, then it's just not going to happen. So, okay, so here I just added some flour to the sausage. There's already enough grease with the sausage to make your base for your roux. So I probably added a fourth to a cup to half of a cup of flour, and for me that seems to work really, really well. So I just cooked the flour down a little bit with that sausage for probably 3.5 to 4 minutes. I go longer than a lot of recipes say to go because I do not enjoy having a strong flour taste in my gravy. And if you don't cook the flour down enough, you can get a really strong flavor taste, and that just to me ruins the whole thing. So I cook my flour really, really well. And don't worry, if you cook your flour and you see some browner bits, not burnt, but just little bits, that's your flavor. That's what you want. Because here in a second, we're going to add milk to our sausage and flour mixture. And you guys, it's going to get all those tasty bits. That's literally the flavor. That's literally what, GMO is. They're trying to replicate that yummy flavor. And so, yeah, so here I am. I decided I wanted to make a chocolate chip oatmeal bar. And this is becoming one of my favorite things to make, is a cookie bar, and it was really good with the added oatmeal. And so I'm just adding brown sugar, butter. I'm melting down some butter. I'm actually going to brown this butter a little bit to just really bring out the flavor and also reduce the liquid that is in the butter still. And so these turn out really, really good, you guys. Definitely worth making. And I'll put the recipe in the description below. But yeah, I will put that whole recipe in the description below because it is so good. We ended up having some for dessert and then actually some for breakfast because it is an oatmeal bar. And so that was really nice. And this makes a whole 9x13 pan. So we snacked on it for a couple days, and that was a really nice treat. Okay, so I'm about to pour the milk into my sausage and flour mixture. I just really like to make sure that flour is cooked down. I cannot stress that enough. Plus, it adds a lot of flavor. So I just dump a little bit in, kind of give it a second to get off any piece on the bottom that needs to be pulled up. And then I will add my milk. I used to slowly add in a cup of milk and then a cup of milk, but I've learned that you really don't need to do that. It's just that first initial pour I do a little bit just to make sure every little bit on the bottom gets up really, really nicely. So then I add a bunch of milk. And I just kind of let it sit there, and as it warms up, you'll see it starts to thicken, and it's really nice. Amelia and Evangeline both wanted to come and say hi and help me, and that was really sweet. I try to, include them in the kitchen whenever they want to help, and that's one of the things I've been praying for my 10-year-old lately, is that she will want to help me in the kitchen, and that I will allow her space to help me in the kitchen so that I can teach her all of those little tips and tricks that you just learn over time and you just don't think about it anymore. So Evangeline is definitely at that age where she wants to help and be involved with everything, and I love that so much. And so I've just been trying to take the extra patience and time to let her help, and she was really excited to help me with the sugar. This was basically your basic chocolate chip recipe, but then I added a little bit more milk and added about a cup of these 1 minute quick oats, and it worked out really, really well. And I also added a little cinnamon just to give it a little extra fall spice. And yeah, but you guys, I really have been missing my sourdough lately, and so I think I'm going to reactivate it tonight, and I cannot wait to start making all my sourdough recipes again and incorporating, new ways of baking that I've been learning lately. I'm just so excited about it. So hopefully next week I will be sharing some sourdough recipes with you guys, if not the week after, once my sourdough's nice and bubbly again. I really wish I would have doubled my recipe for these biscuits, but that's okay. They turned out really, really yummy, and I kind of made them a little bit thicker than I usually do, and I really liked that for the gravy. And so I think I'm going to do that again next time, is just make them a little bit bigger. They did have to cook a little bit longer, which was totally fine, but they were really good. You guys, I found these cute little canisters for my baking soda and baking powder. I couldn't believe it when I found this one that I have here that has my baking powder in it, and it actually has a cute little lid. Look at that little lid, you guys. So yeah, I decided to just use my things that I find. Sometimes I just store them and think I'm going to use them, but I've just decided that it's so much better to use them. It makes me enjoy baking so much more, and everything looks so cute. That little brown one I had there is for my baking powder, and it just works out so well. I really wanted a corner cabinet for this house. When we were renovating it, I could just picture a cute little corner cabinet here in this kitchen, and I couldn't believe it when Shane and I were on a church retreat. I actually found this corner cabinet at a cute little antique shop, and I wasn't for sure if it was going to fit here, but I decided to buy it. I think it was like $45, but it's in really good shape, and I liked the color of it. And I also liked that it had a couple shelves so that I could use it for a lot of my baking supplies I've been keeping in there, and it just works out really nicely. And also I use it for my spices, and so yeah, it works out really, really nicely, and I enjoy having it there. I think it looks so cute, and on top, I just put some of my copper collection. I really don't have a space designated for my copper collection, like my pots and pans, yet. I might eventually make like a peg rack where I could hang them off of, but for now, I just really like them stacked right there, and they're convenient if I ever want to use my colander or anything. Look at this beautiful, this is actually a cookie recipe, but lately I've been turning like all of my cookie recipes into bar recipes because it's just so much more time or less time consuming, and I just enjoy actually the density of the bar. It's just completely different, and my family really likes it. Plus, my in-laws live across the street, and we share a lot, and it's just so easy to just like cut a part of the bar off and give it to them. I mean, cookies are easy too, but that it has been nice to just make a big 9x13 pan and then be able to share. So yeah, like I was saying, these biscuits turned out really, really good. When you're making biscuits, you want your dough to be pretty sticky. You want your dough to be pretty hydrated. And so if your dough is really dry, add some milk or water even, and just make them sticky. Like, trust me, once they bake, they're going to be perfect. Look at the inside. They are just so perfect. So I will put that recipe for my biscuits down below also. Seriously, I've made these so many times, and in several, I've tried, experimented, adding more milk and everything, or less baking soda. And every single time, they always turn out. They're so good. This was honestly one of the best gravies I've made in a while. And I was really happy about that. And my hubby really liked it too. And look at these bars. I mean, literally, I just love the way they cook in a bar. It just makes the top so crispy, and the sides, especially this glass jar, I really like. You guys, I decided that I want to start making candles and selling them. I've been wanting to for a while, to just provide something to give to you guys, as an added way to like serve my community. And so I decided I wanted to make candles, and we have the cutest look at this like adorable shop here. I just love the architecture, and this is literally like 2 blocks away from me. And it's one of those thrift stores where you go and you just like get a ton of stuff that you want, and then you just say, okay, what's the damage? And they just like throw out a random number, which usually it works out. Like I got this whole box of these beautiful canisters and fines for $15. And I thought that was such a good deal. I mean, look at all this stuff. Yeah, some of this I'm not going to turn into candles. Some of this I'm going to use to display in my kitchen. But I'm really, really happy with this haul that I got. I love that white mold. I'm excited to use that. I think I'm going to use that for Evangeline's birthday that's coming up, to make her little birthday cake with that mold. So, and look at these cute little tiny glass canisters. I've actually been needing something for my sugar, and so I think I'm actually going to save that one for a little sugar holder. But I ended up turning that one into a candle, and it's the cutest. On the bottom there, it actually says chili bowl, and I just thought that was so cute. So somebody worked hard and made that, and I just love how it turned out. Yeah, and so my daughter and I actually took some time the other day and made all of these into candles. Oh, that's a little flower frog, and I just loved it. It was so cute. I'm excited to use that also. But yeah, we turned a bunch of these vessels into candles, and I've got them linked in my Etsy shop, which I will link below. But I just could not believe all these cute items that we found. I was like, ooh, maybe that would look cute on the wall. But I love this little flower one with the lid. But Amelia, my oldest daughter, and I had some really good quality time making these candles, and they smell so good. We have 2 options. One of them is like an apple cinnamon with a hint of vanilla. Smells really good. It's a great fall option. And then the other one is like a sweet vanilla scent, and it smells really, really fresh and good also. So, but we had a lot of fun making these and shopping for the vessels, and I definitely am keeping a few of these to display in my kitchen. I'm sure that you'll see them in an upcoming video. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you aren't already, and have a good day.